Hi, hello, and welcome. I'm definitely not Lad, and you're watching me pug my way to 2.8k rating on a Guardian Druid in Dragonflight Season 2. In this episode, we're going to open up the vault, see if we got any nice upgrades, and then we're going to do a Fortified key at 20. I don't know which key it's going to be, so let's find out. I think I'm going to set my loot spec to Feral for this, because there's basically nothing I want from the other trinkets, and Trinket is the only thing that changes regarding my specialization, so let's open it as Feral. Item level 405? Oh, right, I didn't do 7 bosses. I only did 6 bosses on Heroic. God damn it. Oh, fuck yes, dude. We got a fucking weapon. That's exactly what I wanted. I was hoping for a weapon because that's gonna be the biggest upgrade. The stats aren't ideal, but I'll take it. Hell yeah, that's a nice upgrade. Also got a keystone. The keystone is Uldaman Legacy of Tyr. It really likes giving me Uldaman Legacy of Tyr. That's actually a huge pain in the ass to run on Fortified, so that's going to be interesting. Just going to get ourselves a Sophic Devotion for this nice weapon that we've gotten. I'm also going to go and get myself another Splintered Spark of Shadowflame. You can get those guaranteed by doing the Lomnifen Reputation quest. I saved up all of these 2.5k rep tokens that you get for doing the story quest. So whenever I need to do the rep quest, I just go over there, pick it up, and use one of these, and it's instantly completed. Let me show you. Okay, so the quest is here. A worthy ally Lomnifen. You're supposed to get 1.5 rep. I use this, which gives me 2.5, and it's instantly completed. We get the reward, and in the reward sack, when you open it, you also get a Splintered Spark of Shadowflame. You also get a veteran piece, so that's kind of nice for new characters. So now that we have another spark, I think the only thing that I can really craft with it would be a neck piece. But instead of using my next 4 aspect crests on the neck piece, I'm going to just recraft this because it's a higher item level gain. Because this would go from 441 to 447, but this would go from 437 to 447. So this is 10 item levels and this is 6 item levels. I think the 10 item level increase is better. It's more stats overall. And also number go up, so be likey. What affixes are there this week anyway? Storming and bursting. Well, I know there's going to be a priest of the group.
A few moments later.
I need to give myself movement speed. Stun, for the love of God. Ooh, let's purge the salt. Purge the salt from my being and let's get going. I don't know what to say. The group's just getting their asses kicked constantly. Yeah, we have to pull all of this or otherwise we just don't make it. Once they're all grouped up, we're going to use Bloodlust. There it is. We're going to use Bloodlust. We're going to use Survival Instincts. We're going to use the group healer. We're going to go to town. We really need people to pump all their DPS. Ooh, this is going to be a really, really tight one. 2 minutes. This is going to be my first untimed 20. That's going to really suck. Yeah, we're not timing it. Whatever, man. We're going to do a quick 19 Vortex Pinnacle to push our key to 20 and then see what key we get since we failed the Uldaman. And that's a 15, or 15? That's a 19 Neltharian's like, what am I even saying? It's a 19 VP clear. Let's see what key we got. We got a Freehold. So we're doing a Freehold. Oof, the priest got taken out by I don't know what. He should release. I don't want to battle res him here. He can just run back. He should be running back. I'm going to use Incarnation here to try and survive this without the priest present. One of my frenzied regions, but it's not one of them because, oh no. Yep, that's a reset. Using AoE CCs, that's good. Get a bunch of Ironfur up. There's a Scrapper. Where the hell are these coming from? This Frost Death Knight is going to be the death of us. We're going to have to skip a group somewhere. Well, that Freehold didn't work out for us. So we're going to run the 19 key that we have now, and we're going to try and run whatever else I get after this. There we go. That's a 19 Freehold. We got a 20 Neltharian's Lair. Time to make the trek over to Neltharian. Wait, no. Wait. I have the actual portal to Neltharian. Oh, very nice. I did a little jump thing when it says 4 seconds. I'm going to go down the tunnel.
5, 4, 3.
There we go.
1.
I used my Incarnation right before that just to maybe get a few seconds of it up in combat. No reason not to. Resets the cooldown, so it's not a big deal. So this is the Neltharian's Lair 20 that we started. I didn't actually do any prep. I'm just going to do the same pulls I did on my Tyrannical clear. And not really hope for the best. It's more like I already know. Also, that little blip that you heard, you're not going insane. It did indeed blip. I just added a WeakAuras that's going to tell me when I have my thingy thing. When I lose all stacks of Ironfur. So whenever I'm in combat and I hear that blip, that means I've run out of Ironfur stacks. So hopefully that makes me just reflex press my Ironfur and actually use it properly. An incapacitating roar these worms. Very nice. So far so good. Very nice DPS from the group, 300k right off the bat. I asked them to bloodlust the first boss. They seem to be listening to that. We have a butt pull. That's okay. We're just going to keep going. That's my Ironfur WeakAuras. I can actually skip some of these crawlers now. I don't have to pull as many of the little crawler dudes. And we're going to charge over there. We're going to use a Frenzied Regen again. My WeakAuras is letting me know that I'm messing up. I'm not keeping my Ironfur up. We have a lot of Wild Shard crawlers in the back. We're going to res this guy so we don't have to start over. Survival instincts, potion. I'm kind of all over the place because I'm just trying to regain aggro in the background and keep the group alive at the same time. Gotta make sure I point the frontal away from these guys. There's going to be a lot of stacks of thingy thing, but we do have a priest to MD us. And by thingy thing I mean bursting. Just hopefully nobody stands in front of this. Frenzied Regen charge here. I'm moving around a lot because of the tornadoes. I don't want to get knocked off the platform here. That would really suck. Trying to keep at least one stack of Ironfur up. That WeakAuras so far has been a lifesaver. Like that little blip sound I hear, actually massive. Okay, things are starting to get low. There's the blip sound letting me know that I need to use Ironfur. That's actually really awesome. This is the first time I'm using it. I tested out if it works properly on like a training dummy, and it worked correctly. I was pretty happy with that. And now I'm using it in a dungeon run for the first time. I really like that. If you want any of my WeakAuras, by the way, they're all available in the description down below. There's a link to my Discord, and on the Discord there's a channel where I have pretty much everything I use as far as add-ons go and WeakAuras. And there's also a channel where you can ask any questions you want about it, so check that out if you want to know more about the WeakAuras and stuff I use. Just waiting on the first boss to get started. Since it's fortified, it should be pretty easy to keep things going here. Here's the little blip sound letting me know to use Ironfur. It's actually pretty useful, even like this when it's the start of the pull. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm feeling good about that WeakAuras actually. Making me pretty happy because I've been really bad about using my gosh darn Ironfur. There's the shatter. We're gonna move forward, then we're gonna get hit by razor shards if we don't move. So I better move. There we go. WeakAuras telling me that I need to use that. I don't know how loud that is, but I want you to take note of how often I run out of Ironfur stacks. I'm just going to taunt that. So it comes over to me. There's the shatter. We did manage to take out the skitterer. Going to move a bit forward so he doesn't move me as far back. There we go. There's the WeakAuras telling me I need to reapply Ironfur. I'm very cognizant of it right now. Hopefully that guy doesn't get winds-to-gived by that. Okay, he didn't. He wasn't in the frontal. That's good. So far, so good. This group is just melting through everything. Enemies, bosses, whatever you want, man. They're just kicking ass. We're going to give everyone movement speed. Get them over to the barrels. A fun fact, if you use mount form here and people hop onto your back and you go into a barrel, it'll bug out really bad. They're going to fly through the wall and some weird shit is going to happen. And they're probably going to be bugged out and going to have to use a Hearthstone to get out and get ported back into the dungeon and stuff like that. It was insane. I had that happen to a friend of mine. Now here I'm expecting a Mind Soothe on these guys. I asked the priest to Mind Soothe them. You don't need to get past that, but it helps a lot to not have your group body pull them. And it makes it a lot safer. We're dragging this guy for a long distance. We're going to root this, pull this. We're going to look at the Nasher to make sure we interrupt him. The drummer just needs to be interrupted once with CC, and then he doesn't cast the thing anymore, so you don't have to worry about him summoning any ads or anything like that. I'm looking at the Nasher because I want to interrupt his CC. Hopefully people move out of that avalanche. That's wonderful because that shit will one-shot at this key level. If you're not at full HP, it'll just take you out. There's the Ironfur WeakAuras letting me know that I'm slacking on it. Man, that WeakAuras is going to make my gameplay that much better. You can also avoid the frontal, the avalanche, by the way. If you just move to the side when it starts casting, you're pretty much golden. Like, you don't have to worry about that. So we have the breakers here. We're going to drop an Ursol's Vortex on top of them, and we're going to target them directly, because that'll force them to jump back, and then they'll get yoinked back. Just hopefully this one jumps before it runs out. He did. Wonderful. We're looking for the breaker now. 13 seconds until the next time he uses his CC. We're going to use an incapacitating roar, maybe interrupt some of that. We'll use our AoE healing. So Nature's Vigil. Here comes an avalanche. I'm going to move to the side so I don't get hit by that. People moved out of it. Wonderful. This group's really good. I'm having a good time. For the first time today, I'm having a good time. This is the third 20 I'm attempting today. I don't know how much of that I've shared in the rest of the video, but it's been rough. I started off with an Uldaman, then I did a VP. Or sorry, no, I started off with an Uldaman, that failed. Did a VP to get another 20 key. That worked out, so I got the 20 key, got a 20 Freehold. I used survival instincts here to survive that. Then I got a 20 Freehold, that also failed. Then I did a 19, what was that? There was something I did at a 19. At any rate, I did a bunch of different dungeons just to try and get a 20 and on Fortified for this episode, and I think this one might be what I need to do. And there we go, that's the Wild Shard Hulk. We're going to give people movement speed. Very nice. We're going to grab this Hulk, this Breaker. This is going to be a really rough pull, so hopefully people pop their cooldowns accordingly. Just need to hold aggro here. Frenzied Regen here to keep myself topped off. Hopefully nobody's standing in front of the Hulk. Good, good, good. So far so good. Using Ironfur a bit more liberally here. There's another Frenzied Regen. Okay, there we go. Now we have Bark Skin up. Now I feel a bit safer. They're evading because I'm stuck on top of the thing because I got knocked up. Trying to stay alive. I need a bit of help from my healer. Gonna use a potion. Gonna use my incarnation here. This is a bit of a rough pull. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but it's working out because the group is really strong. Their DPS is extremely high. This monk is very impressive. That is some ridiculous damage right there. Okay, and then we have the Breaker. Ironfur is falling off. My WeakAuras is pinging me to let me know. Fuck man, I love this WeakAuras. I should have done this ages ago. Okay, we're going to use Ursol's Vortex here in a second. I don't want to use it too early because I want to be able to make sure that they don't jump back after it ends. That's like the biggest thing. Okay, they're being knocked around by the thingy thing, but Ursol's Vortex helping out. That was actually a really good one. I'm going to use Incapacitating Roar to maybe prevent a few casts from going out. I'm just trying to make sure the Breaker doesn't one-shot someone like that. Okay. Didn't one-shot anyone, we're all good. I'm going to switch to these guys. The Breaker's not going to cast for a second here, so we're good. We should be able to safely finish this off with the Mage dead. Okay, now I'm turning the Breaker away from the group again. There we go. Okay, Mega Kokos is already... The reason I said that way is because basically his name means like Mega... Coconut. Yeah, Mega Coconut is basically what his name means. Okay, we're gonna pull the Pelter. The Pelter actually walks at you for a good time before he starts doing his turret bullshit. I'm gonna use Ursol's Vortex again to keep him nice and still. I'm gonna try and move him like this so he gets knocked against the pillar like that, get some more CC out of it. And use Incapacitating Roar, prevent a cast or two from going through. Because the Pelters are basically the big thing about this dungeon, right? And the Dominators later on. Those are the big problems on Fortified because they indiscriminately hit a random target just for shit tons of damage. Honestly, they feel pretty unfair. Now I'm starting to ignore my WeakAuras because I'm commentating a bit too much. I'm going to use my Incarnation here. Try to keep my Ironfur up like I should. Okay, he's going to drop the left one and then the right one, and then we're going to move him on top of it. This is beautiful. I love anytime I'm playing a DPS and I see a tank drop these on top of each other, I feel really good. Because first of all, I can cleave them. Second of all, I know that the tank knows what's up in this dungeon. Like, that's a nice little tech. That, and on the last boss, if the tank is able to drop the... whatchamacallit. That also depends on group placement and crystal placement, but if the tank's able to insta-stun the ad with the crystal, that feels amazing. WeakAuras letting me know again that I have let my Ironfur drop off. Guess it doesn't matter too much here. Ooh. Oh man, I fucked up this time. I didn't stack them because I was looking at something else, to be completely honest with you. I'm going to look at the middle and try and keep that. I think it's this one. We're going to follow this one and see if the rest of the group focuses that one, and then I know it's the one. I think it is. I think everyone's kind of moving towards that one. That's good. WeakAuras still letting me know. So apparently you leave combat between these two. Because the WeakAuras is only supposed to activate when I leave combat, or rather when I don't have a stack of Ironfur running and when I'm in combat. So since we were waiting around here and it pinged once we started hitting him and I had no Ironfur up, that means that you leave combat in the middle of this, which makes sense because I remember seeing the what are they called, the afflicted, or no, the incorporeal disappear when he went under and did the little shuffle thing that he does. And these should be Mind Soothe. I didn't ask the priest to do that, but I'm hoping, yeah, he's gonna Mind Soothe that. That was wonderful. We have 60%, so we're gonna need these guys. I'm gonna be extra careful with them actually. Might even pop a whatchamacallit, survival instincts here. We're gonna pop Bark Skin and Rage of the Sleeper. That should be more than enough. And then for the next group, I'm gonna have everything I need. I'm gonna use a Frenzied Regen. So yeah, these stacks are really, really bad. Like that bleed is brutal. You need as much armor as you can. So stacking Ironfur here instead of Raise is actually higher value, regardless of the Absorb Shield. Just because that bleed is pure physical damage and it just does so much damage. Gotta keep that up. That Ironfur nice and stacked. I did some math and it turns out it's worth keeping 2 stacks is like optimal usage. Like that's the most armor value you'll get for Rage, because going anywhere past 2 stacks actually reduces how much percent physical damage mitigation you get out of it. I'm gonna use my Incarnation here. Just gotta make sure that I point these guys away from the melee DPS. I'm gonna use some AoE heal from a group. I'll have a backup for the boss, I believe. An incapacitating roar the 2 little grubs. Make sure they don't turn into the big grubs, because the big grubs suck. We're going to interrupt that while we're at it. Struggling just to keep a good eye on what it is I'm doing because of these stupid mushrooms. Okay. There we go, that's good. This group is so good, dude. It's such a breath of fresh air to run with a group that's not messing up, and then I go ahead and instantly mess up the second I say that. Can I get a battle res? Wonderful. Gonna get a battle res. I start saying how the group's really good and then I immediately mess up myself. I'm gonna knock him back. I'm struggling to get aggro back because people are blasting the DPS. There we go, I got my taunt off. So we use CC to try and keep things going. Oh no, I didn't see that fucking grub in the back. I don't know what to do. Oh man, I messed up. At least my group's cool about it. Oh boy. That guy in the back's messing me up. I can't CC this thing. I can't CC the grub either. Oof. I really need someone to help me kill this grub. Aw, no, that's another one. Come on, guys. I needed like 10k damage on it. This guy should have already released and run back. Okay, we have 2 dead. Why is Mega Cocos not releasing? Oh man, I fucked up, man. I killed my group here. I feel so bad about that. Let's kill this lurker at least. Mage, of course, is still alive because mages just don't die. Okay, well, that was maybe 110%. Yeah, I had the tools to survive then, I didn't. The mage is ice blocked, I think. I'm not sure what the mage is low HP, but he's not dying. Oh, okay. I think he invisibilitied, and the big grubs fuck off when you leave combat with them. But yeah, that was my bad completely. Right as I'm praising the group and that it's a breath of fresh air, I immediately go ahead and fuck up. That's brutal. Okay, this person is asking if we want a bloodlust. That person's trying to get food in. Come on, dude. 76 fucking main stats, not gonna change anything. Let's go. We're using bloodlust here, so I'm gonna use my incarnation right off the bat. I'm trying to stay as far back as I can while staying in melee range. You need to stay in melee range for this boss in order to get hit by it, because it's a turret, so it's not gonna move to hit you. I'm gonna drop Ursol's Vortex on a rock up there. Apparently, that's exactly where I wanted to put it. Thank you, game. At least my group's fucking amazing, and they killed all of them because they dropped the pools right on top of the whatchamacallits, the ads. My WeakAuras telling me to reuse Ironfur. Gotta keep at least 1 stack up. Okay, Okay, so far so good. I only fucked up the one time. Toxic Reg coming through. We're gonna use whatchamacallits. Hey, Spiked Tongue. I have no idea which one the newest one is. I'm gonna hope it's this one. If it's not, I can still choose from some over there. Just gonna Moonfire the boss. That's all I can really do right now. Wonderful. I'm glad it was this one. I wasn't paying attention behind myself to see which one it actually was. I'm gonna charge at the boss and go to town on him. Get that thingy thing back. Gonna stand in this one little gap, and we're gonna drop Ursol's Vortex right on top of that guy. I don't know if the other one's gonna be affected by it, but hopefully he will. Yeah, they both got affected by it. That's wonderful. One of them was even stood in the pool that the boss drops, and the boss is dead because it's fortified and it doesn't take 2 weeks to actually kill it. Wonderful. Right as we were getting low. Perfect. Okay, so this pull is actually pretty rough. We're going to give everyone a second to top off here because we have a breaker, we have a pelter-like dominator, and we have this guy that needs to turn into the big ad, or could potentially turn into the big ad. Okay. WeakAuras immediately letting me know that I don't have Ironfur up. That's good. So I can remove the frenzy from the breaker, and I can also interrupt the Demolisher's big turn into a big bad guy. It's going to start casting it soon. I'm going to interrupt it. He cast it at 70%. We're going to remove the frenzy from that, and now it's a lot easier to deal with that because the Demolisher is not going to turn into the big bad thing. So you just need to interrupt it once. There's quite a few mobs in here where you only interrupt them once and they don't do anything anymore. The grubs, the drummer, and the Demolisher. As long as you interrupt them once, you're good to go. Remove that frenzy. People have been very good about dodging the avalanche circles from what I've noticed. Like no one's died to it so far, and usually that people tend to die to that. That tends to kill quite a few. Yeah, it doesn't look like maybe the monk got hit by it, but other than that, I don't think anyone did. Very nice. Gonna pull the Trapper and the Dominator. Hopefully people focus the Trapper. That's kind of the top priority target here. I'm gonna use my Incarnation here because this is a rough pull. If people are just melting the Dominator, I guess that's fair. Trying to keep Ironfur up at a decent bit. I'm gonna frenzy that. I'm gonna Incapacitating Roar, maybe prevent one of the casts. Okay. I don't know if people were focusing the Dominator or not, but it feels like they were. Okay, gonna Frenzied Regen here. Get maximum value out of it. Here's another Frenzy. We're gonna remove that with our Soothe. WeakAuras reminding us that there's a thingy thing we need to use, Ironfur we need to use. And bursting, whenever you take a tick of bursting, you actually get put into combat for just a second, so it can actually prevent you from doing things that require you to be out of combat, like opening cages in Brackenhide, and also whatchamacallit, resurrecting or drinking and stuff like that. So it can actually be very annoying when you have 4 or so seconds of bursting left. And you're supposed to be rezzing or something. I'm gonna eat this just so nobody else has to worry about it. My Ironfur up. Okay, he's casting Frenzy. That gives the healer some time to heal the group. Okay. I'm gonna reset here, heal everyone to full. We've got this in the bag. 13 minutes left. This is an easy 2-star. Maybe even 3-star? I don't know. I don't know the timers, like how much time you need for a 3-star. Okay, that person's very far away. That's probably where the thing is going to drop. No, it's not. Okay, there's no landslide between the structure, between the crystal and the structure, so I can immediately go to this. I'm going to turn this way because people are standing to get hit by the frickin' frontal. So I'm just going to do this. Okay, everyone clear that out. Now I can stand on this side. Hopefully nobody stands in front of the boss. They have a tendency of standing in front of the boss here. Okay, I don't need to move yet. The third one is the one I need to move for. Ironfur, keep up Ironfur. Molten Crash is coming in. I don't have anything rolling, so I'm just going to Frenzied Regen that. Very good. Keep that Ironfur rolling. There's another crystal. It's right on top of me. Its landslide's coming through. Crystal's staying there. I'm going to keep the boss right here. Frenzied Regen real quick. I'm keeping him here because then the monk can keep meleeing the boss through the crystal. And I think, yeah, I think he can. He seems to still be hitting it. Okay, now we have to be careful. I have to move him quite a bit to get out of that. There's another crystal. I have to be careful of the landslide. Landslide's coming through. We're going to battle res the monk right away. I'm going to survival instincts this to give the healer some breathing room. And we're going to drop the magma structure right next to the crystal. I tried so hard to get it in, dude. Okay, but it doesn't have to move around for very long. I'm going to turn around this way to make sure the landslide doesn't hit anyone. Very good. Okay. We have a crystal far away. Ideally, we'd have another one closer. I'm just going to focus on keeping the boss turned away from the rest of the group. That's all I really need to do right now. We're going to get another crystal now. After this molten crash, I'm going to frenzied region to recover immediately. And there's the crystal. Crystal is nearby. We're going to... Oh, he's dead. Well, there's my 20 Neltharian's Lair. I was actually worried about doing Neltharian's Lair because of the pelters, but these guys were amazing. You guys kicked ass. Sorry about that one wipe at Worm. I just derped out. Yeah, there we go. That was a fun run. I really enjoyed that. Today's episode was a rough one to record, I gotta admit. We started things off with a 16 Uldamon because I had a 20 Uldamon key, so I wanted a warm-up run of the dungeon. I formed the route and tried to execute it with a group. I think I overpulled and that actually killed us a few times. It didn't help that we had very low healing throughput from our healer. It was a bit of a frustrating run because people just weren't trying to keep themselves alive. They were kind of just sitting in every single AoE they could. They didn't line of sight things. They didn't try to use defensives, I think. I don't know. I didn't really check the logs to see if they were using defensives or not. But I can tell you, it sure as hell didn't feel like they were using them. We were short by like maybe half a minute or a minute or something like that. So now I have an untimed Uldamon run. That untimed Uldamon run turned into a 19 VP. I went ahead and did that to get another 20 key. 20 key I got was a Freehold. The group there just absolutely wasn't trying to time it, so I left halfway through. I don't have enough time to sit there through 30-40 minute runs just because people don't feel like doing it. 20 Freehold key, since I depleted the key by leaving the group, turned into a 19 key. We went ahead and did that to get another 20 key, and the 20 key that we got was an Neltharian's Lair. As you can see, the group was much better and we actually timed it. It was a ++ even. The run was amazing. There was one time where I fucked up really bad and just walked into a bunch of enemies and died like a dumbass. One thing that I absolutely have to brag about, and I want to show this right away, is I'm going to go down here. This is the overall for this Neltharian's Lair that we did. I want to go to Auras, and I want to go to Ironfur, and as you can see, it has 80% uptime. I finally figured out what's going to help me actually use Ironfur enough, and it's my little WeakAura that I made. Basically what it does is it checks if the aura is found, false, so if the aura is not found, and if I am in combat, so in combat true, it plays the sound. That alone put me from using iron for 10% of the time to 80% of the time. I'm not even kidding. It's amazing. I've been focusing on it more and more, especially in today's runs, because I've been just dying on trash like a dumbass because I don't use enough iron fur. And I decided enough was enough. I made myself this WeakAura, and it is a godsend. If you want any of the WeakAuras I have, you can check the link in the description. There's a link to my Discord. On the Discord, you can actually find all of my WeakAuras, all of my add-ons, profiles for the add-ons, wherever I could export them. It's everything you want. And there's also a channel where you can ask questions if there's something you want to know about the add-ons, how to use them, or anything like that. So give that a look. Oh, and another thing I did this episode was I recrafted one of my rings with all these aspect crests that I've been getting from doing these dungeons. I decided to recraft the ring. We're doing good. We're doing really good on item level. I'm pretty happy with this character. It's pretty much as geared as I can make it other than going into mythic raids and getting a bunch more vault opens. Anyway, that's enough rambling. In the next episode, we're going to try and we're going to drop this Neltharus key to a 20, and we're going to try and do a Fortified Neltharus. Those are going to be some very, very small pulls, but luckily this time around it's bursting and not sanguine, so the chains are a little bit less painful. Not painless, but a little bit less painful. As long as you have an MD handy and ready, should be fine. So in the next episode, I'm going to give that 20 Neltharus a crack, and then we'll see what happens after that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.